You close your eyes. You are exhausted. Your body is heavy, your mind should be quiet, but something is wrong. You are lying there, completely still, and yet your brain is running a marathon. Thoughts are firing, your chest is tight. You are almost asleep, and then, like a switch flipping, you are wide awake again. You know this feeling. You have lived this feeling. And what nobody ever told you is that the real reason this keeps happening has nothing to do with caffeine, your mattress, or your phone screen. It is something far quieter, far sneakier, and it has been running in the background of your life for so long that you stopped noticing it. Here is something that changes how you see everything. A landmark study from the American Psychological Association found that over 43% of adults say stress has caused them to lie awake at night in the past month. But here is what that number does not capture. It does not capture the people who fall asleep just fine, but wake up at 3 a.m. with their heart pounding. It does not capture the people who sleep 8 full hours and still wake up feeling like they ran through concrete all night. Stress is not always loud. Sometimes it is the quietest thing in the room, and it is stealing years of restoration from your body without you ever hearing it leave. Let me paint you a picture. You have been running all day. Meetings, responsibilities, decisions, conversations that drain something out of you. By the time you finally sit down, you are not relaxing. You are just stopping. There is a difference. Your nervous system does not know you are home. It does not know the day is over. It is still waiting for the next threat. It is still holding the tension from every single thing that happened between the moment you woke up and the moment you pulled that blanket over yourself. And here is the brutal truth. That tension does not disappear just because you close your eyes. This is what scientists call chronic low-grade stress activation. Your cortisol levels, the hormone your body releases when it perceives a threat, do not drop the way they are supposed to at night. Instead of following their natural rhythm, declining in the evening and hitting their lowest point around midnight, they stay elevated, they simmer. And while they simmer, your body cannot drop into the deep, restorative stages of sleep that actually repair your tissues, consolidate your memories, regulate your mood, and reset your entire biological system for the next day. You are sleeping, technically, but you are not recovering. And if you are sitting there thinking, okay, but I do not feel that stressed, that is exactly the point. This is the silent part. Research published in the journal Sleep Medicine Reviews confirmed that people with chronic low-grade stress often have no conscious awareness of it during the day. They have adapted to carrying it. It has become the background noise of their life. They only notice something is wrong when they cannot sleep, when they are irritable for no clear reason, when they feel foggy and flat and like they are functioning but not really living. We have a program linked down below in this video description. I am not going to pressure you into it. Honestly, if you feel like your sleep is fine and you are just here out of curiosity, this probably is not for you. But if something in these first few minutes is already feeling uncomfortably familiar, you might want to check it out before it disappears. It fills up faster than you would expect, and the people who waited to think about it later told us they wish they had not waited. Now let me go deeper, because I want you to fully understand what is actually happening in your body when this silent stress habit takes hold. Your nervous system has 2 modes. You probably know them as fight or flight and rest and digest. When stress is chronic and quiet, your system gets stuck in a permanent mild version of fight or flight. Your heart rate stays slightly elevated. Your muscles hold a subtle tension. Your breathing is a little more shallow than it should be. None of this is dramatic enough for you to notice. But your body is burning resources around the clock to maintain that state. Now imagine doing that for months. Imagine doing that for years. Because this is what most people are doing. And the downstream effects are staggering. The Sleep Foundation reports that people with chronic stress experience significantly reduced time in slow-wave sleep, which is the deepest and most physically restorative stage, and in REM sleep, which is where emotional processing and memory consolidation happen. This means that even if you are in bed for 8 hours, your body might only be accessing 2 or 3 hours of genuinely healing sleep. You are paying the full price and getting a fraction of what you were promised. Here is what that looks like in real life. You wake up and the first thought you have is not clarity or energy, it is dread. Not because anything is necessarily wrong, just dread, a heaviness. You reach for coffee before you have even fully processed where you are. You move through your morning in a fog. You are functional technically, but everything takes more effort than it should. Conversations require more energy. Focus requires more effort. Even just deciding what to eat feels strangely taxing. This is not laziness. This is a nervous system that never got to fully reset. And here is the part that makes this such a devastating cycle. When you are running on depleted sleep, your stress response becomes more reactive. Studies have shown that sleep deprivation literally amplifies the emotional centers of your brain, making you up to 60% more reactive to stressful stimuli. So you sleep poorly because of stress, and then because you slept poorly, everything stresses you more. You go into the next day already behind. You carry that into the next night. And the cycle compounds quietly and visibly for months and years until it becomes the invisible ceiling on everything in your life. Your relationships, your patience with people you love gets thinner and thinner, and you cannot always explain why. You snap, you withdraw, you feel misunderstood, and you are not even fully sure why you are so on edge. Your work, the sharpness that used to come naturally, now requires 3 times the effort. Decisions that should be simple feel enormous. Creativity feels distant, like something you used to have access to. Your body, your immune system takes a serious hit from long-term sleep disruption. Your metabolism shifts. Your hunger hormones change. Your risk for cardiovascular issues rises. None of this is small. All of it is directly connected to this one silent habit. But here is where I want to shift the energy, because this does not have to be your story anymore. When people genuinely address this root-level stress activation and stop managing sleep as an isolated problem, the changes that happen are nothing short of remarkable, and I am not speaking in abstractions. The research here is extraordinary, and so are the human stories behind it. When your nervous system finally learns how to actually deactivate at the end of the day, when it learns to recognize that the threat is over and it is safe to release, your body starts accessing those deeper sleep stages again. And the changes start happening faster than most people expect. Within the first few days of genuine nervous system regulation before sleep, people report something that almost sounds too simple. They say they feel quiet. Not just tired, but actually quiet in a way they had forgotten was possible. That internal noise, that low hum of unresolved tension, starts to soften. Within the first couple of weeks, the cognitive shifts are measurable. Memory consolidation improves, focus sharpens, decisions come faster and with more confidence. People describe it as having their brain back. One person described it as the difference between looking through foggy glass and suddenly having the window cleaned. Everything becomes clearer. Not because anything external changed, but because their brain is finally completing the restoration process it was designed to complete every single night. The emotional changes are even more profound. When you are sleeping deeply, your brain processes emotional experiences properly during REM sleep. This is the mechanism by which your mind actually integrates and releases the emotional weight of your experiences. When this is disrupted, you carry unprocessed emotion from day to day, week to week. It accumulates. When sleep restoration begins, people describe a kind of emotional lightning, a quiet resilience returning. They find themselves responding to the same situations that used to trigger them with a steadiness they had not felt in years. And then there is the physical, energy levels that do not collapse in the middle of the afternoon, a body that does not feel like it is dragging itself through the day. Inflammation markers in research studies drop significantly with restored deep sleep. Immune function improves, people start looking different, their eyes are clearer, their skin changes, their posture shifts. There is a vitality that returns when a body is actually being allowed to rebuild itself every night the way it was designed to. This is not about optimization or biohacking, this is about giving your body what it needs to do what it already knows how to do. The capacity for deep, restorative healing sleep is already in you. It has always been there. The only thing standing between you and it is this silent habit of chronic stress activation that nobody ever properly identified or addressed. Now let me be direct with you. There are things you can do starting tonight. Stop treating sleep as the destination and start treating your evening as the transition. Your nervous system needs a runway. It cannot go from full-speed stress response to deep sleep without a bridge. That bridge is intentional deactivation. Slow, controlled breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system directly and measurably lowers cortisol within minutes. Progressive muscle relaxation, where you systematically tense and release muscle groups, signals to your body that the threat has passed. Even something as simple as lowering the temperature in your room, because your core body temperature needs to drop slightly to initiate deep sleep, can shift what your nervous system does in those critical falling asleep minutes. The people who go from exhausted and frustrated to genuinely sleeping well again are not doing dramatic things. They are doing consistent, targeted things that speak directly to the nervous system's language. And if you want the full framework, the complete structured approach that guides your nervous system through this process step by step using what decades of sleep research actually points to, the program in the description below is where that lives. I am not going to tell you that you need it. I am going to tell you that the people who are sleeping deeply right now once sat exactly where you are sitting. They were exhausted, skeptical, and they had already tried other things. The difference between them and people still lying awake tonight was simply the decision to stop waiting for things to change on their own. That decision is available to you right now,